Okay, this vlog is to tell you the latest on what's going on. Me and my friend Paul went our separate ways, so we are now living a few miles apart from each other. I'm in the caravan on my own and I just love it. I love the peace and the quiet. But the reason I'm doing this vlog is, I know it sounds nuts, but it's like doing a diary. So it's mostly for my own benefit, because I am on a journey which is very much a spiritual journey for me. I'll just briefly tell you my story, only in parts, because I'm actually writing a book about what I'm going up to. The noise is the dogs. When I talk, they decide they're going to drink loud. And chomp the biscuits very loud as well. It's like living with a man. You're little attention seekers, aren't you? Anyway, this is a spiritual journey. Please read my book when it comes out, because it's actually quite exciting. I had the most boring life you've ever known. 40 years of the same old thing, day in, day out. I used to keep diaries, and every diary was always the same, only with a different name, because I went through so many partners, like 3 husbands, and always looking for something and never getting it what I needed, and so becoming disillusioned and disappointed, and my life was just a circle of mishaps and just not going anywhere. And sometimes I'd feel like I'm finally getting somewhere, and then it would go back to square one of nothingness, and I just got sick and tired of my life. It was so numb. Now, I am a spiritual person, and I do believe that I am guided by my higher self, if you like, or spirit guides, or God, whatever you want to call it. For me personally, I believe that we have a higher self, our consciousness and our subconsciousness, and they're not always in alignment. For me personally, I tend to be very much emotive, so I live in the here and now with what is around, but there's a lot more to me, and you as well. And quite often our subconscious is not in alignment with what we're doing and what we want. So long story short, this is a spiritual journey that started me off when I was 40, and this is so complex, and that's why I have to write about it, because I don't feel like there's enough time to say what I wanted to say. But personally, I believe that illness, for example, whether it be mental, physical, spiritual, is all caused by you not being in alignment and being true to yourself. And I became extremely ill when I was 40, to a point where I did nearly die. My family were shielded from this because I didn't want them to know. They would have had me admitted to hospital. I'd been to hospital many times that they don't know about, and they were going to remove my bowel this one night, and I walked out of the hospital and never went back. And I've still got my bowels, but they were going to operate on my esophagus as well, on the splinter, because my food kept coming up and the splinter wasn't working properly, and so I was dreadfully ill. I can't go into it all right now, but I was shockingly ill, and I did nearly die. I don't need to prove that I nearly died, because I know my body, I know me, and I know I was dying. But it was my higher self saying, sort yourself out, come on. Now, I could have just laid there and died, that was too easy. But there's something inside of me that isn't, I just can't explain, but I am so stubborn. I'm so stubborn, and something inside of me says, you're not going nowhere till you've proved yourself. You're not going nowhere until you have done everything you can do to make your life the life you want to live. That dog is seriously doing my head in now. Bonnie girl, you are annoying. Go to bed. Honestly. Right, just lay down there then. Oh, please. Anyway. 3 years ago, something happened to me that set me off on a massive journey to where I am now. And I'm only in the first stages of it, and it's a bit like Lord of the Rings. When they go searching for the ring, It's just weird, and you just don't know where you're going to end up from one day to the next. But I got this feeling inside of me years ago that said, you've got to go to Scotland. And I'd never been, and I never wanted to go. There's nothing here, but something said, you are going to go to Scotland. And then 2 years ago, I was sat in my own house and I was feeling down because my house wasn't selling. I had no direction. I was working in a job I hated and I had nobody, and I was on my own, and I thought, this is it. It's just not enough. I've had enough. And then something happened. It was weird. And the only way I can explain this is that I am very much like I said, emotive, but I sense things around me. And what it felt like was a celebration was going on in the unseen. And I thought, something's coming. Something is coming to me. And it did. Within 3 months of feeling that real excitement, it was almost like there was a celebration going on upstairs somewhere. And it was for me, and I could feel that. Within 3 months, my house sold. It did not sell for the amount I wanted, but it doesn't matter. The point of all the journey was to get me out of there. I met somebody. He was a Scotsman, and I fell in love with him. And so I met a man. I got my house sold. I won enough money to buy my second-hand car, and everything just seemed to just fall into place. And that was the first time I'd gone on the motorway to go to Scotland, and something drove me up there. And as I was going up the motorway, I could feel them all cheering, going, yeah, you've done it, you've done it, you can do it, you can do it. My life was so full of fear until that point that I was so phobic, I couldn't even get in my own car and drive around my own town. And I'd only passed my test about a year before, so I was very nervous as well. But something just happened to me that day, and all my fear just evaporated, and I thought, oh, to hell with this. I'm going to feel the fear and still go. And I did it, and I drove to Scotland. Now, as it turned out, the relationship I ended up having came to nothing, but that, again, does not matter, because what happened is my house sold, and he said, you're coming to live in Scotland with me. I came to live with him in Scotland. It didn't work out. Within weeks, I was back down in England feeling sorry for myself because it just didn't go how I wanted it to, and something happened. I was in England in my daughter's house, and she said, Mum, let's sort you out once and for all. What do you want? And I said, I don't know. She said, forget money, forget everything. If you could have anything you wanted right now, what would it be? So I said, I would love a white cottage on the middle of a big hill surrounded by trees and water and a long drive. And she said, right, have it then. And I went, right, okay, I will. And I don't know why, but I went on Gumtree. I typed in white cottage and one came up, and it was on the Isle of Ling. And I'd never heard of it, but I said, I'm going to have that. And within 6 weeks, I was moving back up the motorway to the Isle of Ling on my own with 2 dogs and a Vauxhall Corsa. And that is all I had. And I had about £6,000 left for my house sale because I didn't get much. So I didn't really have that much, but I thought, oh, stuff it. Give up. If I only come for a week or a month, at least I can say, I've had a great holiday. And as soon as I got up to the west coast of Scotland, oh my gosh, it was like a huge party was going on around me, and the exhilaration that I felt and the excitement was, I've never felt like that. And I felt like I was going home. I really did. And I lived there for 10 months, and I loved the island. I absolutely loved it. The people, fantastic. It was like being in a big family, and it reminded me of the 1970s when there was still that community spirit. And on the island you find that it's still there because there's so few people living there. On this one, I think there was 170 people, and so they have to get on with each other. Basically, they all have to muck in, and be together, and they're just lovely, lovely, lovely people, and I really miss them, I really do. Then I met my friend Paul, and he became my bestest friend ever, because he got me. When I'm talking about fairies and spirit guides, he's going, yeah, I know what you mean. And everyone else laughs at me and goes, oh, you're nuts. But he doesn't, and that is what brought us together. And I'm not going to go into the rest of it, because it's going to spoil my book. Oh my God, have I been to the pits of hell or what? And have I been to the thrones of heaven? I've done it all. It's going in my book. Swear down. It's got to be written, because this is really important, because this is a woman who's come from a council estate with a lot of mental health problems that have been diagnosed on me from other people around me who don't even know me. And these are people who've got their own issues, but they've judged me to a degree that I used to believe what they said about me. Now I know I am just different, and the way I think and the way I feel and the way I behave is just not standard behaviour and thinking. It's not. But I think that makes me unique, and I think that it should be celebrated, because... Bonnie! Stop please now! I think it should be celebrated, because we live in a time, like mankind always has, where we are told what to think and what to feel and how to be, and the non-conformists have always been outcasted. Celebrate it. Celebrate being different. Celebrate the fact that you can think for yourself. So, yesterday, same thing happened to me. I was sat there, it was 4 o'clock, and oh my gosh, woof, something came over me, and I went, something amazing is going to happen to me again. Something amazing is going to happen, and I don't know what. I don't know how, but I felt that again. It was a celebration. And I met my friend Paul today, and he said at the same time yesterday, the same thing happened to him. So I believe that we are both going to go on a journey together, or something's going to happen that involves us both. I'm doing this for my own benefit. No one needs to watch these. It doesn't matter. I don't care what people think about me, or any. It doesn't matter. This is for me, because one day I am going to look back on all my videos and go, oh my God, when you start this journey, you were a fat mess. You were you was just so like, what the hell has happened to that woman? But do you know what? I am on my way to success, and success to me is getting what I want. That is my own land. That is growing my own trees and food and getting off the grid and rescuing animals and people and living the life I should be living, which is a spiritual one, and it's one that's full of love and support for people who need it. There are too many people out there committing suicide, and I've witnessed too much of this. And there's been times when I thought, why the hell am I alive on this planet? Because I don't fit in. I just don't. And even as a child I didn't. But do you know what? I don't want to. I don't want to fit in with all women must be sexy and look great, and you must be like this and you must think like that and have a fancy house and it must always be clean and you must be this and that. I will never lose my humanity. I will never stop loving, even if you crucify my heart. I will never stop loving, I will never stop giving, and I will never, ever become like other people who just stop caring. That will never happen ever to me. My passion for helping vulnerable people and animals and nature will never ever die. Never. And I have got to succeed. I've got to, because when I get there, I'm going to bring you with me. And I don't ever want to be in the company of somebody who says, I just feel so alone and I can't take no more. Because with me there, they won't feel like that again. And I just want to live my life being true to me. And this has got to be done. And the book has got to be written. I have written over 100 pages so far. And a lot of that was done when I was living in a car and getting stared at and torches shined in my face and things like that and humiliated and stuff. But the book is so raw. It's so raw, and it talks about the hidden side of homelessness, which is never talked about. and it's very, very dark, and it's very, very scary, and it's just something you don't want to think about, but it's real and it's true. And I'm tired of seeing people suffering and struggling. Now, for me personally, I'm too tough. I can go and hit rock bottom, but my rock bottom is still a lot higher than a lot of other people's, because I don't drink, I don't smoke anymore. I quit smoking when I was 30. I don't take drugs. I don't really do anything that would cause my body to be really harmful. The worst thing that I do is get stressed, and that is something I'm working on. Just got to learn to let it go. But I just wanted to do this vlog for me, because it's a really important day. There's something, he's telling me something's about to change, and I don't know what. But I need to look back and remember my journey, because when I am successful and I've got everything I wanted, I have to remember how I got there. And I never want to be one of these people who think I'm better than everyone else, and oh, look at me, I'm successful and you're just nothing. I never want to be that person. So this is just a reminder to me now, don't you ever forget where you came from, or who you are, or what you've gone through, because you know better than no one else. And you, Kelly, me, are the leader, not a follower. So this journey is important. I'm happy on my own. I like it now. I've got used to it. It feels right to be alone right now, and I've got so much I want to do. I'm just going to show you my hat, by the way. I knitted this last night. Okay, I knitted that last night. I started loom knitting last year. One thing, just a little bit of advice to anybody, is always learn. Every day, learn something new. It doesn't matter if it's a new word or a skill, a musical instrument. Every day, just try and learn a little bit of something else and keep developing and growing, because I love seeing people who are in the 70s and 80s and they're still learning something. And so many people get to an age and they say, well, I've been to college, I've been to school, that's it. I don't need to learn anything. Well, you do. You do. Keep learning. Keep your mind growing. And by the time I'm 80, God, I'll be a concert pianist, I'll be a violinist, an actress. I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to be an actress, a novelist. God, I could be a lot of things. Don't ever give up. Right, I'm going now because the dog, she's getting on my wig. Right, be happy, and bye-bye everybody.